A police officer driving home with his family suddenly found himself targeted by criminals. In a split second, the quiet ride turned into a dangerous confrontation. But the officer didn't freeze. Acting on pure instinct, he drew his weapon and fired back from inside the car, forcing the attacker to flee in panic. A quiet moment with a friend turned into a high-stakes confrontation when an off-duty police officer was targeted by two armed criminals attempting to steal his motorcycle. Instead of freezing, the officer made a split-second tactical retreat, calculating his response before striking back with precision. His swift and decisive action forced one suspect to flee in panic, while the other quickly abandoned the crime and ran for his life. A police officer driving home with his family suddenly found himself targeted by criminals. In a split second, the quiet ride turned into a dangerous confrontation. But the officer didn't freeze. Acting on pure instinct, he drew his weapon and fired back from inside the car, forcing the attacker to flee in panic. A late-night burglary took an unexpected turn when a thief quietly broke through the door, only to realize the homeowner was still awake. The two locked eyes in silence, both frozen and unsure what to do next. The homeowner, startled and confused, chose not to react aggressively. Meanwhile, the burglar seemed just as uncomfortable, caught in a situation far from what he planned. Without a word spoken, the intruder slowly backed away and slipped out of the house, ending the strange encounter before things could escalate. A white car suddenly found itself boxed in by a group of armed robbers. Guns were raised, orders were shouted, and the situation appeared completely under the criminals' control. The driver was expected to surrender without resistance, but the robbers underestimated their target. Staying calm under pressure, the driver threw the car into reverse and launched backward at full speed. The sudden move sent the vehicle crashing into the robber's car, shocking the attackers and throwing their plan into chaos. Seizing that crucial moment, the driver shifted forward, hit the gas, and sped away, turning a seemingly hopeless ambush into a dramatic, successful escape. A couple had just returned home when a group of robbers suddenly ambushed them at their front door. The criminals tried to assault them right on their property, turning an ordinary arrival into a frightening moment. Acting fast and without hesitation, the couple immediately ran away from danger. Their quick reaction helped them avoid the attack and reach safety before the robbers could harm them. Police are now investigating the attempted robbery as the search continues for the attackers. What began as a calm, ordinary day in a quiet, small town quickly turned into a startling encounter. An elderly couple had just returned home and were preparing to back their car into the garage when two men suddenly approached with the intention of stealing the vehicle. But the thieves were not expecting resistance. The elderly man reacted immediately, stepping forward and launching a surprise defense. One suspect, dressed in black, panicked and fled the scene at once. The second, clearly shaken, tried to drive off with the car but mistakenly shifted into reverse, causing chaos rather than escape. Realizing the botched attempt, he abandoned the vehicle altogether and ran away on foot. Thanks to the homeowner's quick action, the crime was stopped before it could escalate. And the couple walked away unharmed. The thief believed he could slip away unnoticed, but police had already been alerted and were closing in fast. Panicked, he bolted outside and tried to climb over a wall in a desperate attempt to escape. But before he could get far, a nearby officer reacted instantly. In seconds, the suspect was taken down and restrained on the ground. Thanks to the rapid response, police successfully prevented the escape and took the thief into custody for further investigation. Two robbers disguised themselves as ordinary pedestrians, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. As a white car drove past, they suddenly confronted a man and demanded his motorcycle, threatening him on the spot. Despite the danger, the victim stayed calm. Instead of reacting aggressively, he stalled for time, keeping the situation from escalating. His strategy worked. Just as the robbers pressed their demands, police arrived at the scene and quickly intervened, rescuing the man and preventing the theft. Authorities are now investigating the incident and searching for any additional connections to previous crimes. Backing a vehicle into a garage may seem like a normal part of everyday life. But it's also a moment when drivers are most vulnerable. With attention divided between steering and checking surroundings, criminals can take advantage of those few critical seconds. Carjackers can strike without warning, turning a routine task into a dangerous confrontation right at your doorstep. In moments like these, staying alert makes all the difference. Your vehicle isn't just transportation. It may be the quickest way to move away from danger and reach safety. Being aware, thinking fast, and using your surroundings wisely could be the key to protecting yourself when it matters most. A masked man burst into a shop and threatened a lone employee with a knife, forcing him to hand over cash and a mobile phone. But the robber's escape plan quickly fell apart. As he attempted to flee on a motorcycle, the employee, supported by several bystanders, blocked his path. The suspect tried to slash his way out, but the group managed to overpower and restrain him despite the struggle. Police arrived shortly after and took the man into custody, putting an abrupt end to his risky and failed robbery attempt. Three attackers armed with a meat cleaver stormed into a store, threatening employees while demanding cash and goods. The shopkeeper, thinking quickly, pretended to comply to avoid escalating the danger. Then, in a sudden move, he broke away, smashing a bottle of wine to distract the robbers before sprinting outside and locking the door behind him. Hearing the commotion, bystanders stepped in to help hold the entrance shut. With no way out, and their plan completely foiled, the trapped robbers had no choice but to surrender. Police later arrived to take them into custody, ending the violent attempted robbery without further harm.